everyone. Welcome to Encinas Unfiltered. This week we have the wild card round for NFL football playoffs. We got 6 good games. Kansas City has the bye for the AFC, and Detroit. And I know Colby's not here to rub it in my face, but Detroit got the number 1 seed. So, Sam Darnold, my boy, kind of failed me there. But we're going to kind of do a little bit of a recap. We got a suggestion from a fan to actually do some recap, kind of talk about some of the news in the NFL. So a little bit of Week 18, kind of some Black Monday, if you will, some of the coaches' firings. We'll talk about some of that. Tennessee Titans have the number 1 pick. That's kind of cool for you, I guess.
Let's go,
you guys
boys.
Get Shador. I really think you should draft Travis Hunter, but Travis Hunter's the guy there. But we'll see what happens with that.
I don't want Shoebox.
Well, you guys might get him. Your fans at the games are asking for him, but
they're also stupid. So
that's fair. And then, so we're gonna do recap. We're gonna go into the betting like we always do. Just it won't be very long because it's only 6 games, and then we'll kind of get more in depth about the games and the matchups for this week for the wild card. So let's just get started. So Week 18, just some things that I took from it. I just thought it was weird that George Pickens. I mean, it's not like it's a big surprise. He's kind of been a reoccurring issue, I guess is what you would say. I think at the game last week against the Bengals, he kind of just like gave up and stopped running his routes. A lot of these receivers these days are kind of a lot of prima donnas, I've noticed. A lot of these players, actually. And
I hate him.
He just stopped trying, and him and Russell Wilson are kind of beefing. So I thought that was weird. Tyreek Hill refused to come into the game in the last quarter, was it, I think? Because he was just mad. And then after the game, after everyone left the locker room, he's like, yeah, I'm out of here. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're still in a contract. Okay, good luck with that. So he got all of his money up front, and he wants to dip out and probably go play for a championship team. His stats were down like 40%. I was like, who else?
Players that are like that are absolutely stupid. They're absolutely ridiculous. They really don't deserve what they got going on.
But what's crazy is that some of these guys probably will still be on the team next year. Maybe not Devondre Campbell, because I think he kind of messed up because he wasn't like a prolific player, I guess, if that makes sense.
Right.
But, your George Pickens will still be there. Your Tyreek Hills will still be there.
That's the unfortunate part, is they are just so, I don't know. I mean, okay, entitled? So my thing is that you don't need a good receiver the way you need a good quarterback. You know what I mean? So the value of a good quarterback is much more worth its weight in gold than a receiver, so to speak. Obviously you could have a really good quarterback. Your receivers are just dropping passes. I get that. But honestly, receivers are a little bit of a dime a dozen, and quarterbacks, those are,
well, especially right now, right? It's so hard to get a good
especially right now in this type of league where it is a passing league, you know what I mean? Unless you got a Saquon or a Derrick Henry. But other than that, it's a passing league, so a quarterback is much more needed. I mean, you see every single time. Granted, this is, me saying the best in the NFL right now, but regardless, it still proves my point, is that you see it with Patrick Mahomes all the time. Patrick Mahomes does not have number 1 receivers, at all. And I personally still don't believe that Rashee Rice is a number 1 receiver. I think he's easily a solid 2, easily. But he might be in that little in-between space of a number 1 and a number 2, in my opinion. Because to me, a number 1 is going to be your Justin Jeffersons, your Amon Ross, your
Jamar
AJ
Chase.
Browns, Jamar Chase, easily. Those are your number 1s. Rashee Rice, would you really put Rashee Rice up with them? No, you wouldn't. Your Pukas.
No.
You really going to put him up there? No. Exactly. He's a number 2. The only way that you're going to say somebody is a number 1 is if you are going to put Justin Jefferson, Amon Ra, all those guys that we talked about, Puka, in there, and you bring in somebody else and you're like, that one's kind of a toss-up. They could both be number 1s. Then you have something. But all in all, the point I'm trying to make is that if Tyreek wants to leave, screw it. Let him leave. let him leave, dude. Trade him. Get something out of him. If he wants to be a whiny girl like that, there's players in the draft, bro. And
well, you know what's funny is Angel sent me something today at work. He said that Micah was telling Tyreek to go to Dallas. I was like, go to Dallas. That's not going to fix your problems. Your problem is you paid $60 million for a quarterback who's not worth $60 million.
You're gonna be pissed with a defensive player who's pissed too. I mean, I guess misery loves company. Like if that's the route you want to go, but no, that wouldn't change their problems at all. He screwed up. He screwed up when he left the Chiefs. That's for what sure. Happened. And now he's regretting it.
What show was I watching? I think it was something that Shannon Sharp was on. I don't know if it was on ESPN or what it was on. But they were talking about Tyreek and how Tyreek basically messed up. Stephen A was talking about it. That's what it was. And Stephen A was like, you got your money, you left, and you gave up 2 Super Bowls for that. And, I mean, was $7 million worth it? Maybe. But, after all your problems and stuff, they still accepted you for who you were and worked with you and still kept you around on the team. And still drafted him, right? They still drafted him considering all his problems on the outside. I mean, yeah, that's the weird thing. And then you have guys like Davante Adams, right? I'm not trying to do a hard transition, but Davante's in that route where he's not like Tyreek, but Davante's a top receiver. He's probably the best route runner in the league still, even though he's in his 30s.
I think he's still viable, 100%.
But he needs to go to a team where he wants to get paid, but I don't know. Not saying he's not worth it. He is worth the money, but to be on a good team, you're going to have to probably not take $30 million. You might need to take $20 million and go play for a team that's basically ready or close, right? Whether it's, I mean, this might be a little biased. I still think San Francisco, when healthy, is a force to be reckoned with. But whether that's going to Detroit, whether that's going to the 49ers, whether that's going to the Rams, but I don't know if Matthew Stafford's going to have enough longevity there. That's why I'm not really considering it. If he goes to Tampa, imagine that. That'd be kind of crazy. If he went to Philly, make Davante a slot guy, that'd be super nasty. I mean, there's a lot of ways where he can go and win a championship. Or I've heard this one, he goes to Kansas City. They don't have a number one. Just like you said, they don't have a number one. DeAndre's on a 1-year deal. He's done.
Imagine DeAndre and him.
Hollywood Brown, I think, is on a 1-year contract too. Don't quote me on that. But they don't have a number one guy. Patrick did command a lot of the salary, but it's still only $50 million opposed to other quarterbacks getting $60. You bring him in, you're going to go to the Super Bowl. Put him on the Ravens. Shit. Put him on the Ravens.
I mean, that's one of the things, though, is like Davante Adams, you saw games where he was playing and he was showing that he was an old school Davante Adams. Like, it's still there. It's definitely still there. And I think he just needs the right team, in all honesty.
He's a quarterback, too.
And to be honest, I would really, this is just an NFL fan's, dying wish here, is that it would actually be really awesome if the Kansas City Chiefs kept DeAndre, picked up Davante, picked up Amari Cooper. I want to see this old ragtag freaking, wide receiver core. Dude, and just watch, Patrick Mahomes just tear it up with him. I just want to see it happen. I don't know.
He wouldn't have any excuses after that. I mean, but
dude,
though, they still have Rashee Rice. I mean, I don't know what's going on with him legally, but he's still a good, viable receiver. He's still good. He's a number 2 on any team. And Worthy's great. He's quick. They're still trying to figure out a way to use him, fully. But yeah, that would for sure be interesting. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know what their cap space is either, and I think a lot of that has to do with cap space. Kansas City.
But see, that's one of the things too, and that's what made Tom Brady. That's what made Peyton Manning. That's what made them very great, was that they took pay cuts for their team.
Correct.
Where now, because you're telling me that Tom Brady and Peyton Manning shouldn't have been getting these $120 million deals? Of course they should have. But what were they always at? They would never break over 80 million at best. I don't even, at one point, I'm pretty sure one of them had 60 million. They were not breaking high, at all, being the best in the NFL. Because at that time period, the NFL players had respect for everything. But now you get all these entitled people that want to go in there, that had nothing. They essentially win the lottery, and then they blow it all because they're stupid, because they never had anything, and now they can buy everything. And so they just blow it all, and they get money, and they just think that they're none. Like, dude, that's not how life works. But they figure it out when it's already too late. So Tyreek is in that moment where right now he learned a life lesson. You wanted money, you chased after the greed, and now you lost becoming a legend, pretty much.
Right. He has one Super Bowl under his belt, but, it's...
Okay.
Yeah.
When you could have had 3? Like,
that's right. So I was looking at their salary cap for the Chiefs. So this past year that's currently happening, they have $1.2 million.
mm-hmm.
Next year, they only have $20 million in cap space. In 26, they have 77, and 27, they have 167. Well, I was looking at the cap number, and I don't know if it's going to let me kind of filter it, but Mahomes is $66 million next year, and Chris Jones is 34.
Now,
Travis is almost 20, and Joe Thuney is 26, almost 27.
Now, there is always the possibility that they could restructure their contracts, help free up some cap space. That's very much possible. But at the same time, this is the one thing that kills me. I understand that you as a player, you want to be paid your worth. I get that. We all go to jobs where we think that we should be paid our worth. But at the same time, when you're playing in the NFL, you have a chance to go to a team that easily makes playoffs every single year, and you can get a Super Bowl ring. That's why you play in the NFL. You play for a Super Bowl ring, right? Do I think that that's everything? No, not really. But regardless of that, is that you do it for that. So just take a couple of years, take 2 years, 3 years, go on a Super Bowl team that has a possibility of going there, take a little bit of a pay cut, and play for the boys. Get that win. Get the dub. Tyreek got it, and so he felt like he didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
it just, to me, it doesn't make sense. If you want to be prima donnas, bro, like, you're really squandering your opportunity. But, they've, like I said, like Rand Carthen said, dude, is a lot of these dudes have never been told no in their lives. They've been the best at their positions all the time. They've never been told they're not good, ever. So they don't know what that's like. And that's why a lot of them hang on for as long as they do. And then they finally get told, yeah, bro, you're not viable anymore. And then you're going to be thinking back. But those are just life lessons. What are we doing here? Turning into a TED Talk.
I was listening to some stuff today, and I saw that they were saying that it depends on where a player's at in their career, right? So some people want to chase Super Bowls. So those who already got the money and stuff. And as you get older, as you kind of like are, maybe towards the end of your career, they're just down to go take 1 year deals making $20, $30 million because that's what they want is to kind of just fill their pocketbooks on the way out. So I think it depends 100%. On where they're at. Like DeAndre Hopkins, he's 33, has a lot of injuries. Is he a Super Bowl or is he wanting to make money? I would say he's probably trying to make money and get out because,
I don't think so. I think he's trying for a Super Bowl. That's what I think. He wouldn't be taking a 1 year deal if that was the case.
Well, I don't know why you go play with. I don't know why you go play with the Tennessee Titans. No offense, but I mean, on a 1 year deal.
That's because that was a Mike Vrabel deal. He liked Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is a leader of men, dude. He's solid. But that's why the second Mike Vrabel left, they traded him.
Well, with that being said, Mike Vrabel didn't leave. He got fired, right?
Yeah, he got fired.
Okay. Well, no, it's a segue. That's my hard transition into Black Monday, which is today. So Doug Peterson, Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, gone. Not surprised. Jerron Mayo, a little bit surprised because I thought the Patriots were actually going to stick it out with him.
Yeah.
He did fumble the first pick. I will say that. Mm-hmm. But he's gone, ex-player. I was like, oh, the Bears head coach. I don't even want to try to pronounce his last name. Eberflus. He's gone. Dennis Allen was gone on the 4th. Robert Saleh was gone October 8th.
Doug Peterson.
Coaches on the hot seat, Mike McCarthy. The Colts, but didn't you just say that they're going to keep him? Or no,
they're going to keep him.
Keep
Cowboys,
the coach, but they got rid of the DC.
Yeah, Cowboys are going to keep their coach. Titans are going to keep their coach.
Brian Callahan is you guys are keeping him. And then
they're going to keep him.
They said that they're going to keep him too, which I thought was interesting because there's literally planes. People are buying planes, the signs in the sky.
Yeah, I know.
And trying to get him fired. But it's just interesting. Like, I think there's Cowboys fans where they're wanting like Mike McCarthy to leave. But if you look at the coaching market, who's going to do better than Mike McCarthy? Besides Bill Belichick, maybe. Oh, no, Bill Belichick's gone. He's in Carolina. Well, there goes that.
I think Mike Vrabel be a solid choice. Saleh, no. Saleh's a good coordinator.
To come back to the Niners, to go back to the defensive coordinator for us.
Saleh's a good coordinator. I think that he realized that he's a good coordinator, and that's that. And there's nothing wrong with that. You got a bunch of coordinators. Lions coordinators, they're looking at a job
Ben Johnson
to potentially be head coaches. What's his face? Spagnuolo, defense coordinator of the Chiefs.
For us.
Always looking. So it's one of those things, dude. Some people just realize that they're good coordinators, and that's it. Lane Kiffin. He was a good offensive coordinator. And that was that.
Well, I mean, I think Detroit's Ben Johnson's might be looking for a head coach job. I think it's up to him.
I mean, they might. Yeah.
He's probably the next guy up.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting that some of the coaches that we thought would get fired didn't get fired, and some of the players or the coaches that should have been fired weren't fired. Or it's like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The coaches that were fired, like Robert Saleh, they could have waited. I don't think they needed to fire him. I don't think it would have. They probably would have been. They probably would have had a better record with him than without him, in my opinion.
I think it was an Aaron Rodgers issue. I don't think it was a him issue. But
right. And then, but like coaches like,
Doug Peterson needed to go.
The Colts head coach.
Colts head coach needs to go.
Dable, like, there's a lot of these guys where I'm just like, they weren't it, and they're still going to keep them.
Callahan for me is okay. Jeff Fisher, big Titans head coach, was like the longest tenure. I think he had like 18 years, something like that, as the head coach. But his first season as the Titans head coach was 4-12. It happens. It takes a little bit. It takes a little bit for you to get your vision in line. I know that right now there's rumors that Rand Carthen's going to get fired. I doubt it, to be honest. That dude can convince players to come over to this team left and right. So he's good in free agency. He's good to keep around.
Yeah, I guess there's also discussions based on what is going on behind closed doors, right? Because we don't know that.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, because I think you looking at Titans on paper, you knew they weren't going to be good. Like, they brought in Calvin Ridley, and he's good. But Mason Rudolph and Will Levis is like, Pollard did a lot better than we thought.
I thought that they were going to do better than getting the first draft pick. I thought that we were going to be in the playoff hunt and then probably get eliminated before we got there. But I thought we were at least going to be a contender.
I think it does put you in a position, though, whether you guys want to go quarterback or go Travis Hunter. I mean, I think for sure you guys should go Travis Hunter. For sure.
I think so. I think we will.
Corner or
He's
receiver.
Just a dual threat, yeah. So,
but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys went quarterback either. So
I think there's also a possibility that we trade the first pick. That's always a possibility.
I think it depends to who and what.
Rand Carthen loves draft picks. So
what I'm saying is, like, it would depend on who it's for. The only teams I could see going up would either be Patriots. I'd have to see the mock draft order. Browns. I don't think Browns are going to go quarterback because they're committed to Deshaun for some weird reason, and they won't get rid of him or just take the dead money on him. The Giants need a quarterback. The Patriots don't. I mean, Patriots might want Travis, but unless the Raiders move up, I don't know if Raiders have anybody that's worth, or a draft pick that's worth you guys going back 5 spaces. Because you guys are missing on Travis and all these other guys at that point.
Well, as I've already said, I think we need linemen. I don't think that skill positions are a thing. But from my understanding, what I've heard of the people that I've talked to, this is a pretty weak draft. This is a pretty weak class. There's not like, you're only within like the top 5 picks are actual players that you're like, okay, yeah, that dude's got something. But I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the quarterbacks are super low. There's only like 2 first-round quarterbacks. Potentially, right? But
I don't think
Cleveland needs a quarterback. New York needs a quarterback. Raiders need a quarterback. Jets need a quarterback. Saints need a quarterback.
So Brian Callahan did tell.
That's it.
Brian Callahan did tell Will Levis that that we will be picking up a quarterback, either free agency or draft. Yep, he already told him. So expect that to happen. We'll see what happens. I swear to God, if we get Daniel Jones, I'm going to stab somebody.
He's going to be available.
I know he will be.
Or Sam Darnold, which we'll talk about that one later. Just getting to the betting. So first game of the week, we got the wild card round of playoffs. You got the Los Angeles Chargers at Houston. Houston, in my opinion, has not looked that good. Huge step back. Tank Dell absolutely obliterating his leg, that poor guy. And then Stefan's been out like most of the year.
Stefan's done.
So the Chargers are favored by 2.5 points, and the total is 42.5. So for this game, I'm taking the under.
I'm going to take the under, but go Chargers.
I'm taking Chargers at minus 2.5, so it's 3 points.
Dude, I talked to some dude today, and he was saying that the Texans were going to easily win. I was like, crazy. You are high, dude. I was like, you are high beyond belief.
Not against Jim Harbaugh. If it was any other coach, maybe. Not Jim Harbaugh.
No.
Jim Harbaugh has taken that team from a rebuild team to maybe a second-round exit. I'll give him a second-round exit.
Dude, but he's a Steelers fan, so he's delusional in the first place.
Oh, well, they're going to lose. Well, we'll see.
100%.
Oh, they're losing. I already looked at the next game. They're losing.
Oh, yeah.
So, I guess this will be our 6-game parlay if you want to put it together. Maybe mix it in with some basketball or something on your own. Make some money off of it. But we got Chargers. We like the spread at minus 2.5, and we're going under on the points. Next game, we got Steelers at Ravens. Ravens are favored by 9.5 points. The over-under is 44.5.
Ooh, I actually like that, but I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over.
Divisional games just get weird, dude.
I know, but this is playoffs. This is playoffs, brother. We're putting everything on the line.
That's why. It's going to be a good game. Under.
Nope. I'm putting over. I think we're going to see the boys go for 4th downs left and right. We're going to see.
All right. But we're both taking Ravens at minus 9.5, though.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next game. Broncos at Bills. Poor Broncos. Coming off of their fresh win. Absolute ass kicking against the second, third string Kansas City Chiefs players. Carson Wentz. Does he still have it? I don't know. Probably not. Bills are favored by 8.5 points. The over-under is 47.5. I'm taking the over on that. Just because Denver is figuring out offensively. Really? Don't know how. But
I'm going to say
Buffalo will win by more than 8.5 points.
I think Buffalo will win. However, I think it's possible for an upset. But when we talk about the games, we'll get
That's fine. But stop. All right. You're taking
Oh yeah, we're taking Buffalo though.
Okay.
In
betting game, Packers at Eagles. Poor Packers, man. They just would have won against the Boo Boo Bears. They maybe would have played somebody else, but instead playing the Eagles.
Against the NFC juggernaut, dude.
Oh. So the Eagles are favored by only 4.5 points. That's not very much.
Wow. Yeah.
And the over-under is 45.5. I'm going over on that.
Really?
I'm going over. 2 explosive offenses all day. Packers defense is banged up. Jair Alexander.
Yeah, you know what? I'll run with you on that.
Yeah.
But we're both
Eagles got Saquon. Jalen's coming back. Everyone's healthy. And so I'm taking the over. I'm taking the 4.5 spread on that as well.
Yeah.
Next game, Commanders at Bucks. Now, this is an interesting game.
I love this game.
I can see it
I
going
love this
either
game.
way.
I love this game.
The Bucks
This is
are
going to be my
favored
favorite.
by 3 points.
Ooh.
And the over-under is 50.5. I'm going over. I'm going over on this game.
Wow.
Baker Mayfield's been slinging the ball.
I'm going to go under.
Slinging the ball. You're going under?
Under, but I think it's so possible, man.
Their defenses have both been trash this year, dude.
Dude, I love this game. I think this would be a big.
This is the game of the week for sure.
If this game lets me down, I'm gonna be so distraught, dude.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. I don't think it matters who wins this game because I think the next game, whoever they play, they're gonna be like the other team's gonna beat them. But just for the sake of it, I think Tampa gets it done only just because. I think Jaden Daniels is good. It's just not this year. Soon, not this year.
He's showing super good promise. If he win, like you said, I think it's possible that he could win this game. But whoever wins will definitely lose next round. No question.
Yeah.
But I think next year, oh man, Redskins are going to be big things.
Commanders. Commanders.
I'm not going to be politically correct.
So you're taking Tampa?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Next game, Vikings at Rams. Ooh, the Vikings are favored by 1.5 points. Oh my god.
I'm going Rams.
Total is 47.5. I'm taking the under.
I'm going to take the under, but I'm going to go Rams.
What?
I told you. Hey, did I not tell you that the Vikings were frauds? Did I not tell you that? I told you that, didn't I?
I still like them.
What happened? What happened?
No, they lost.
Okay.
Yeah,
because they're frauds. They're frauds.
I don't think Los Angeles gets it done unless Cooper Kupp decides to come out of the woodwork and decides to be good again. And honestly, it's really reliant on Matt Stafford, who has not looked good this later half of the year, dude.
But they won a Super Bowl.
Not with this team. Not with this team. Aaron Donald's gone. Their defense, that was top 2 in the NFL, gone.
They know what to do.
Their line banged up.
They know what to do.
I'm taking Vikings.
They know what
Vikings win. I'm taking the under.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're gonna see a Vikings-Detroit rematch. That's what I think we're gonna see.
And then they're gonna get exposed again as frauds. They're frauds. They won't even make it past this round.
They're going to the Super Bowl, buddy.
They're frauds.
All right. Man. So this is the updated one. I know last week I went Minnesota and it didn't work out. I mean, whatever. Let's just go based on the matchups here. Like we'll just go, up and down. So Minnesota, Los Angeles, that's the last thing we talked about anyway. So go ahead and you want to talk about that?
As I've said before, Minnesota are frauds. They've been exposed multiple times, but for some reason, your boy Rod is just on their rod for some reason, and they're frauds, dude. They're not. No, it's not going to do anything, dude. The Rams have a better offense. I think that their defenses are equal, but the Rams have a better offense, and I think that the Rams have a better coaching staff. In all honesty, I like Sean McVay a lot. So I don't see how Minnesota wins this.
I mean, I like Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell. He's been an absolute game changer for them, I think. I mean, they were what? 14-3? I mean, that's pretty good for bringing in Sam Darnold, who was a backup.
I mean,
third stringer on most teams.
Ultimately, though, if you look, okay, so we're just going to run off offense here. Sam Darnold, Matthew Stafford. You could argue they're equal. You could argue, I would even accept the argument that one is better than the other. I would accept that. So we're going to call that one a wash. You're going to look at running back. Aaron Jones, Kyron Williams. Yeah, Kyron Williams all day. Receiving core. You have Puka, Justin Jefferson. I believe they're going to cancel each other out. Then you have
Justin Jefferson's better than Puka. Respectfully. I like Puka.
I'm
not
going to
there
disagree.
yet. Puka's not there
I'm going
yet.
to disagree. I think that if Puka stayed healthy, he would be better. But, I mean, that, I would argue that Puka's better. But I get it. Puka doesn't play the whole season. So it's a valid argument. So for the sake of the argument, we'll give Justin Jefferson the +1. Jordan Addison or Cooper Kupp? I'm going to take Cooper Kupp. No.
Not right now.
Nope. Cooper Kupp all day.
Nope.
All day. With that, I'm going to say that really, you could argue that they might be equal, but I think that the Rams overall
tight end
have a better coaching against Higbee.
Higbee's not even there. He's hurt.
Ew.
He's played like all year.
Hawkinson has not been viable at all.
Hawkinson is better than their tight end.
Bro, that's like talking about their tackles.
I'm just telling you, he's still there. So, to me, I think I would take Matt Stafford over Sam Darnold right now. But I think the offense is close, but I think the Vikings have been clicking more consistently throughout the year as opposed to the Rams. The Rams have been big boom or bust. Their best game was against the Bills. Call for
at the end of the day, their receiving core, the Rams are better. If I heard Puka and Cooper Kupp against Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, I'm going to take Puka and Kupp.
Yeah, and before the season started.
Okay, then what
Cooper
are we doing?
Kupp hasn't been anything this season. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Go look at his stats. He's played horrible.
When it comes to playoff times, it's different times. Watch. Cooper Kupp's going to have a big game. Mark it. Cooper Kupp's going to have a big game.
Okay, and that's what you think, and I will hold you to that. I just think Minnesota has a better defense. That's very night and day, their defenses, and that statistics can prove that. And you can go to NFL.com and look at it.
I think the Rams
don't have a good defense. I promise.
I think they're night and day. Sometimes they'll play lights out, but sometimes they won't.
Against the NFC West teams, who they play twice a year.
Here's the thing, though, is even the Vikings have had one of the easiest schedules. Looking at the Vikings schedule, there's not a lot of big name teams. And every time they've gone against a big name, an actual good team, they've lost. There's only one team that they beat that was even a decent team. So go ahead, name them off. I'll tell you.
I'm going to look it up.
Oh, I know.
They beat New York Giants. They beat San Francisco. Yeah. They beat Houston. They beat Green Bay. They beat the Jets. They lost to Detroit. They lost to the Rams. They beat...
what are we doing?
Colts, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Chicago, Arizona, Atlanta, Chicago, Seattle, Green Bay, and Detroit. They lost.
Huh. So weird. All the good teams they lost. That's so strange. It's almost like, they're frauds.
Green Bay's actually not a bad team.
Green Bay's okay, but that's a division game. And then the one good team in their division they lost to got swept. So what do we do? They're frauds.
I'm not saying they're good. I just think their defense is better than what the Rams defense. It's like I said, it's just two completely different defenses. Like if this was 2-3 years ago, LA, but their defense is in shambles compared to what they were 2-3 years ago.
I think they're going to get outcoached. That's my thing.
Maybe. I think Vikings can win this game, and I think they're going to be playing Detroit next week. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But I just rely more on the defense, and I think it depends on what Matt Stafford you're going to get. If you get Matt Stafford playing lights out, which he hasn't done this year, he had one good game against the Bills. Puka obviously being healthy helps, but is Cooper Kupp going to come back? I think that's another huge letdown especially with fantasy in general this year with him.
Right.
And then, that's basically what you're looking at. I mean, Kyron Williams is great, but if the Vikings also have a really good run defense, unless your name's Jahmyr Gibbs for whatever reason. But, I don't know. That's just where I'm at with it. I think Minnesota wins and plays Detroit. But to be honest, I don't think it matters who moves on because
they're going to lose.
Well, it depends. If Washington wins, then they're going to play Detroit. But if not, then Minnesota or Los Angeles is going to play Detroit, and Detroit's going to go to the championship game. So,
yeah,
it's neither here nor there. So the next game, we got the Commanders versus Tampa Bay. So to me, this is probably like the game I probably want to watch the most, in my personal opinion.
I like it.
You got two high explosive offenses. The Tampa Bay's defense is trash. They're worse than the Commanders. Mm-hmm. But Jane Daniels being a rookie, very young, very quick. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball. With this game, you have two big explosive quarterbacks that love to throw the ball. Obviously, Jaden Daniels can run the ball as well. Tampa Bay's defense, I think, is what's hindering them the most just because they give up so many points. And really, it's Baker just kind of chucking the ball and getting the game really, really close and hopefully trying to win it. He's had some really tough nail-biter games these last couple weeks. But in my personal opinion, I think Tampa Bay gets it done. I just think, I kind of like what I explained earlier, Jaden Daniels is a little younger, not taking anything away from him. But either way, I don't think either one of these teams is going to stand much of a chance anyways. So just for me, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, a great game. But I can see either team winning, but I have more confidence that Tampa will win, in my opinion.
I like it. It's a solid game.
Yeah. You have anything to add or no?
Nope. Okay. Pretty cut and dry.
Next game, we got Green Bay against Philly.
There's nothing to talk about this game.
My wife is
There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about.
Christian Watson's
Philly's
out for the year. Well, yeah, they are. But so Christian, I'm going to still do its due diligence. Like,
bro, Philly's better. On to the Chargers in Houston.
No. I'm going to still talk about it.
Dude, there's no way.
I'm still going to talk about it. There's a lot of Cheeseheads fans, okay?
All we're going to do is just stroke the Philadelphia fans' egos right now.
And that's fine. I told you I was a Eagles fan after for fantasy playoffs, and I'm going to keep riding with it. I'm going to keep riding with it. So, Green Bay just lost Christian Watson. Not really that big of a deal. All the receivers are boom or bust. Jordan Love got hurt in the elbow when they lost to the Bears last week. He's going to be playing. It's fine. Josh Jacobs is having a hell of a year. Kudos to him. But Philly is good offensively, but also a top defense. And Green Bay is a little banged up on defense. And especially with Jair Alexander not playing, I think that's going to be a little tough for them. I think that Jalen will probably throw 2 touchdowns, and I think Saquon gets 2 touchdowns. That is my prediction. I think it'll be a good game, but I do think that Philly wins by 2 touchdowns.
Oh.
Yep.
I think they win by 10.
Okay. All right. Since X wants to talk about this game so bad, you tell me about the Chargers in Houston.
Houston is absolute garbage. The only reason
talk about pretenders.
Bro, the only reason why they are in the 4 seed is because they won the division against one of the worst divisions in the NFL.
Your division.
So, yeah, 100%. That's why I'm an expert in this. And I know that Houston is not good. Houston is not good. I like CJ Stroud. I like him. I think he had a bad sophomore slump. I think he needs to get back to what he was doing his freshman year. Needs to sort out his personal life, his life off the field. Get back to what he was doing before. But regardless of that, I think when it comes to it, I think, one, Houston's going to get outcoached. It's a Harbaugh team. Good luck. And Harbaugh teams are amazing to their defense, very strong defense, and the Chargers just signed Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay.
Literally just happened right now as we speak. I think that Ezekiel Elliott's going to make that big of a difference. Maybe in a goal line situation. If Ezekiel Elliott starts running hard again, I think that'll be good. But regardless, I think that the Chargers overall are a good team. I like Ladd McConkey. He was my number 50 on receivers list, even though I said he was going to the Giants. But, we're not going to talk about that. Regardless, I think that the Chargers are just an overall better team. It's as simple as that.
I agree with you. I think Houston's injuries is what's hurting them. Not only has CJ had a sophomore slump, so has the Defensive Player of the Year, Will Anderson. He's kind of not really been doing so hot either. Not saying he's not doing good, but not as good as last year, I guess would be the word to put it. I just think those injuries are going to kind of be their demise, and I think that Jim Harbaugh is just Jim Harbaugh, and he's made this team that was full rebuild into playoffs, and it's an incredible story, and I think the Chargers are going to win, but they will lose to the Kansas City Chiefs in the next game. So,
yep.
And I think that's what they're going to play next, and it is what it is, right? So, with that being said, next game we got Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I think this one's very straightforward. I mean, you can tell which teams are the powerhouses in the division. I mean, it's very clear. It's not like a fluke, like not to be mean to Tampa Bay, but are they the third-ranked team in the NFC? Not in my opinion, personally.
Houston's not the fourth.
No, but I mean, as far as like, I would put them like at 6 and Washington at 7. I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe throw the Rams down there. But I don't know. I just think Baltimore, they have Derrick Henry, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Zay Flowers, you got...
All of a sudden, Bateman coming out of nowhere.
Hey, dude, Bateman's been a sneaky target all year long.
Dude. And now Andrews, likely. They're all coming into the mix.
And the defense is now starting to step it up.
Ooh, you have... brother, it's a scary team right now. But... yeah. The only thing that I think is saving the Steelers right now is that it's a divisional game. That's the only thing that I think is saving them right now.
But
because I think Steelers are the frauds. I think they are frauds of the AFC. I think the Steelers are the frauds of the AFC.
Yeah, and I agree only because I think of all the stuff that we talked about, like with George Pickens early on, and all that kind of locker room toxicity and cancers in the locker room, and the fact that Tomlin had the same situation with Antonio Brown, but I would argue Antonio Brown's a way better receiver and way more productive on the field than Pickens.
Yes.
And but then most of these receivers, to be honest, and all these players that are having issues as far as like effort's concerned.
Oh yeah.
But I just think Baltimore is a better team all around, and especially if their defense shows up, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be real tough. I think Baltimore gets it done, and then they're going to probably play the winner of this next game, which is Buffalo and Denver. So, I will say this. Bo Nix, I was very high on Bo Nix to begin the season. I know one of my coworkers and he didn't really care for Bo Nix. I was like, look, when I'm looking at a college quarterback, I'm always looking at how much playing experience they had and what they did. So, there's a lot of these guys where they're in these big schools, but they're not really getting a lot of playing time. I mean, Jalen Hurts went around a couple times to different teams. And I don't like Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy's a guy who wasn't at a big school, but he had a crap ton of playing experience. And then you compare him to a guy like Trey Lance, who had like little to none playing experience in college because of COVID and everything else. And we saw how that went with the San Francisco 49ers, right? Traded 3 first-round draft picks for him. Didn't work out. Honestly, he didn't really do good for the Cowboys last week anyways. But Bo Nix, I guess what I'm trying to say is Bo Nix had a lot of playing time and a lot of experience. And I think that's kind of helped him be NFL ready and be able to go into a team. A well-coached team, too, mind you. I mean, Sean Payton's a Hall of Fame coach, by all means, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree.
And they had some problems with Russell Wilson. I just don't think Russell Wilson was the fit of what Sean Payton was looking for. And they're a nice Cinderella story. Do I think that the Kansas City Chiefs should have arrested everybody and the Philadelphia Eagles should have arrested everybody and everybody else? No, I don't think that should have happened. I think if people are arresting, you need to bring the week's games back to week 16 and stop it. This is getting ridiculous. In the NBA, if you rest players, I think you get fined. I think they should start finding teams for doing that. That's just my own personal little rant about it. I think it sucks. There was a lady who went to the Philly game, was like, I'm here to see Saquon break the record. And everyone's like, awkward, he's not playing. You flew 1,000 miles to come watch this guy play? It's just like, that's like going to see LeBron play in LA and he doesn't play that day. It's like, come on. Like, come on, guys, what are we doing? But anyways, Denver, Cinderella Team of the Year. I think Bo Nix is very good. He's a candidate for Rookie of the Year. But unfortunately, they're playing against a really hot Josh Allen right now. I mean, Josh Allen is good. I mean, his supporting cast isn't anything crazy either. And I think that's like the biggest story of the year is that, I mean, I'm one to say this too. I really thought they were not going to be a playoff team this year. They have a bunch of rookies, a bunch of nobodies. I was like, could Josh Allen do it by himself? Well, he can do it by himself, and then he can elevate his supporting cast like a good MVP caliber quarterback should elevate the people around him to do well and play well. And, you know, that's why he is where he is. But even though Denver's defense is really good, I like PS2. Patrick Surtain's sick. Don't get me wrong. And Denver's defense has been top 5 all year round. I just think Buffalo is just going to be a little bit too much for them to handle. And I think that Buffalo was going to move on and play Baltimore. X, what are your thoughts on that game?
This game is pretty basic. This one's almost like a Philly Green Bay. Buffalo's just a better team, in all honesty. I think that's just what it comes down to. I think that it's bull. I think that it's crap that Kansas City has to play like the Chargers or Denver to get to a championship game. I think that's crap. I think they should have had to go through Baltimore. I think they should have had to go through Buffalo. And if they played Baltimore first, then they would have to go against Buffalo in the championship game. If they had to play Buffalo first, then they would have to go against the Ravens in the championship game. That's what it should have been. That's what it should have been. I get it. Kansas City got the first seed. That's just how it played out. I get it. But I think the Chiefs are skating their way into a possible three-peat, which I don't think that any NFL fan really wants. We're all kind of tired of it. They're the new Patriots. We're tired of it. But Buffalo, all in all, Buffalo should win this game. No question.
Sorry. So with that being said, the predictions are Rams, Minnesota against Denver. Rams, Minnesota against Detroit. Then we got Philly versus, we're saying Tampa?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got Kansas City versus Chargers and Baltimore versus Buffalo. That's going to be a good game. I think Baltimore gets it, though. But, and we'll save that for next week, and we'll kind of table that until then. So as this bracket gets bigger, we'll just keep, let the people do their thing, and we'll just slap it on and, talk about it some more. I know Colby just texted me, and he's like, make sure you talk about that Lions game, LOL, because, I said that the Lions are going to be playing against the Rams, and, here I am. So, I eat my words on that. All right, everyone, thanks for sticking around. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. You can check us out at www.EncinasUnfiltered.com. There you have our box of the week and anything that we have going on social media. So here throughout the playoffs, we're going to continue doing this where we're going to do a little recap. I kind of like that. And then kind of get into the betting and then talk about the games and kind of just go there. And the episodes should be getting shorter and shorter. We'll try not to draw them out. I know this week I kind of draw it out. But they'll get shorter and shorter until the Super Bowl. And that'll kind of be it. And then from there, I'll probably be transitioning back into the Unfiltered Breakdown. The guy Steven interviews will probably be coming back up as well. So thank you for sticking around. X, thank you for joining me. Hopefully next week you can have Colby back on. But Colby's going to be going to the Olympic Training Center, so good luck, buddy.
Hey.
And until next time, everybody. Peace.
Later.